You know what I find incredibly inspiring and also terrifying about fashion is that each year people want newness. Consumers look for the fresh look, the new style. And so in order to harness that, in order to access that demand, brands really need great product at good prices and the right colors and quantities. All of that is at the core of what makes companies successful. If you don't have a fantastic product that feels like good value, you're nowhere. For a number of years, companies could choose a channel and just stick with it. We're an e-commerce only brand. We only do wholesale. I think that world has expired. So in the new world, you really have to have a strategy for each channel and it complements the others. You really can't be a standalone wholesale or a standalone store brand and grow past a certain point. So every company needs to develop that strategy and they need to develop it in advance of when they need to implement it. So at inception, it's important to understand how you would implement that. If you generally sell to department stores, how will you launch your own stores? If you're e-commerce only, what's your strategy going to be when you do choose to open a brick and mortar location? I think there are periods in a company's evolution where it makes sense to overinvest, to really over-index on capital expenditures, to open an outsized amount of stores, or to invest in marketing. Those are things that drive potential losses, and that can make sense and be commercial. The problem is, if that's for an extended period of time, it really challenges companies around getting financing from banks like us, from accessing equity investors at a good value. And so the best way to protect, to inoculate your company from concerns, from risks, is to be sustainable in a profitable way. So to drive that profitability, we'll always create more options, more flexibility for a brand, and allow them the space to make decisions around growth. There are definitely standout sectors at the moment that are really growing, over-indexing on growth. And so denim is a good example. We've seen strong growth in outerwear, but athleisure is a great example of a category that has just expanded and expanded over the last 10 years. It has become people's weekend uniform and probably many weekdays as well. And so as people broaden the wardrobe they have in that category, it creates more opportunities. It creates opportunities for a more fashion-oriented element, for a more basic, for different price points. And so that creates a runway for brands to really grow within the category and for brands to enter it. Many brands choose to saturate the US market before they look overseas. And I think nowadays, social media is global and trends are global. They're set in Korea and then move to Europe and then show up in Paris and then migrate to the US and in a loop. And so if brands enter international markets earlier and earlier, it allows them that echo, which really benefits them. Influencers overseas buying it and then bringing it over to the US. And so we've seen that be really successful for growth. As companies evolve and grow, if they have strong sales on multiple continents, it's also a mitigation for cycles, for weak economic cycles, for changes in trend in some regions that don't impact others. So our recommendation is for companies to look overseas a lot earlier in their evolution. Early stage companies, as they're looking at international expansion, one of the great indicators, and it seems a little obvious, but you start seeing those e-commerce orders from other countries. And that's really like a first indication that this has appeal. Usually it's from similar language countries first, but doesn't necessarily have to be. Think about it as all those tourists that are coming to the US, experiencing the brand, and then returning to their countries looking for the product again. And so creating an opportunity for them to shop it and experience it in their home markets is a great opportunity for the brand.